What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Season 2 of the Revelers Rule podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, and today I am joined by a very, very special gentleman, a man of many talents, I must say. He does a lot of different kinds of work. He has worked with Drew Estate. He's also a photographer. He's definitely big on travel and checking out coffee places, food, all that kind of stuff. He's definitely a snazzy dresser as well. And of course, I'm talking about Matty Rock. What's going on, dude?
What's up there, my brother? Number one, thanks for having me. I appreciate you. Love to be on the show. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time. I know your schedule's been pretty packed with events and things like that going on, not the least of which is you hanging out with Martin Kove. I must say I am infinitely jealous.
Dude, a lot of fun. He's a great guy. A lot of people go out there and go, oh, so-and-so is a great guy, but I mean, he's so much fun. Um,
Yeah.
he's a real dude. He's a real guy. I enjoy every minute I get to spend with him. As far as events go, anyone who's in Paramus, New Jersey next week, come on out. He will be there on May 13th. So we're doing a co-branded event. I'll be doing some Drew Estate deals, Drew Estate swag and handouts. Marty will be there signing autographs, doing pictures, and handing out the Prodigal Son cigar. So it'll be a fun time, dude.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the Prodigal Son. Now, is this something that who's he been working with mainly for this cigar? I know you've been to a number of events promoting the cigar and whatnot. How did that all start? I mean, obviously Martin Kove is a massive cigar aficionado, and I think we all knew it was a matter of time before he made his own cigar. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
So going back quite a few years, the first time we had spoken to Marty was on a podcast I did with Tom Fisher, one of the leading bourbon educators on the planet, if not the country. And he did
Uh-huh.
a show with us quite a couple times years back. And they always discussed, how much he loved cigars and how much they interested him. So, you fast forward all this time later, it turned into a joint project with La Casa Grande Cigars out in the Bronx with my boy Paulie and Sanj Patel and Chico Rivas. And fast forward, you know, here we are with that cigar. Great product, great smoke. I enjoy how much Marty was involved in the process when he was smoking the cigars and how much he truly enjoyed it. And when you get to work on something that's not a gimmick and it's being smoked by a real cigar smoker, it
Yeah.
means an awful lot. So very, very cool. Something very, very cool thing, Quill, to have in the with the rest of your arrows, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, that's just it. I love stories and hearing stories about how certain things come together, especially how cigars are blended and who all was involved with the project. I mean, you and I are smoking the exact same cigar. This was not planned, by the way. I
I know.
literally grabbed this out of my humidor just before I sat down to talk with Matty.
Well
And
played.
I know, right? We were apparently on the same wavelength and had no idea. So,
You talk
but
about right. You talk about people who you get to work with. I mean, Drew Estate, Jonathan Drew, and Master Blender Willie Herrera, working with James Hetfield to get this out and put this out into the market. So again, when you're talking about a cigar that that's not a gimmick, that's actually truthfully done with the person, where everybody's sitting down, everyone's going over blends, people are smoking through it, people are going through it, and like I said, between the M81 and what we're smoking here, the S84, two masterpieces, both which I like very, very much. Today was the mood for a little bit lighter.
yeah.
Crappy day outside. I got rained out of the bench, so now we're under the gazebo instead of the aforementioned bench. We didn't get a real pretty day in dirty Jersey today.
Okay, gotcha. You were actually the second guy from New Jersey that I've interviewed on this show, a buddy of mine by the name of John Thomas, who has a podcast called the JT Project. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or anything like that, but
I
yeah, he
wear name
also
tags, so I remember who I am. So
I feel you. Sometimes I have no idea who the hell I am on depending on the day. So, but no, yeah, so you're based in like New York, New Jersey area, yeah?
yeah, right on. If anybody who's familiar with the GW Bridge connecting New York City to Jersey, I'm about 13 miles outside of New York City over the GW.
Okay. That's awesome. I've only been to New York once and I absolutely loved it. I had a great time while I was there. Got to have a short little cigar experience with my friends over at Martinez. I walked on over to their place and said hello, and they hooked me up with some cigars. And but yeah, no, New York is definitely a place that is just full of culture, and cigars are part of that culture, which is pretty
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, man, absolutely. There's just so much to do in New York, and like I said, I'm a third generation New Yorker, and to tell you I've done everything there is to do, be an
Mhm.
absolute lie. It's just there's just so much stuff to do between culture, between restaurants, parks,
Mhm.
architecture. I mean, you name it. You know, New York is definitely the international city, man, for sure.
So, like I said at the beginning, you're a man who wears many hats, literally and figuratively. If you followed Matty's social media, you've seen that this guy, like I said, he's a very snazzy dresser. He likes his hats. He likes his colors for sure, which I honestly love. I think that's awesome. When I met you, you were wearing a very, I believe, very sparkly suit, and
Yeah, yeah, and
I think
and I'd like to say, oh, you have it just for this. I'm like, no, it's like a regular everyday outfit for me.
no,
Got
for
to be
sure,
get
and
my
that
full crazy on.
No, and that was one of the reasons why I think I approached you. In fact, just to show you real quick, I got your sticker on my
There we go.
my flask. So if I remember correctly, you passed me. No, you're very welcome, and thank you. Um, I uh, I believe you passed me an acid and a fat bottom Betty, which I've smoked both, and those were fantastic. I mean, even if you're not really into infused or flavored cigars, Drew Estate makes a really good infused cigar, so more than just one infused cigar. But you do a lot of things. You're in talent acquisition. You, like I said, you're a photographer. You travel, to various places. Now, do you like vlog or blog a lot of these places, or what are part of your travels
I
when
don't
you
do
like?
too much. I put up as much as I think people can take of me, because after a
Mm-hmm.
while I don't even like hearing my own voice. I'm like, I have very small amount of patience for my own voice. So let me just do stuff in snippets. I try to,
Yeah.
I share stuff, especially stuff that people ask about. I share. I work with a lot of guys in the food industry. Um, I'm a big foodie, as you already know, so I love going on the road, doing the whole restaurant thing. I'm huge into
Mm-hmm.
barbecue, so you'll see me doing a lot of events with the barbecue guys. Recently, been
Yeah.
doing a lot of stuff with restaurateur David Burke, and it's been a blast, man. When you get to marry, cigars and spirits and food together, I mean, it's not a job anymore, man. It's just you know, who could get any better than that when you're out there doing combining all these things that you love.
No, that is pretty fantastic. And the fact that you get to do this, on a regular basis, like you said, it stops becoming a job at one point and it just becomes an adventure that helps you make a living, which I think is a wonderful thing. Like, like they say, nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try, which, you're living proof of that. So now, like, as far as like the talent acquisition, leg of your work, what does that involve? Do you work with like people in film, music, or who all do you work with?
So you've scrolled through my account a bit, so it's kind of like the all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
It's people who are looking to brand things that they've done. It's people because a lot of times what happens, my favorite thing that I do is cross branding, right? So you can
Mm-hmm.
constantly market to your cigar world, right? But there's a whole group of other people out there who might want to be introduced into the world, right? Maybe from the food
Right.
side, maybe from the wines and spirits side. You never know, right? So I find a lot of people that within their niche business are looking to step out and pick up either new followers or bring new people into their brand. So we talk to all different walks of life of people in their careers, seeing what they want to do, seeing what
Yeah.
they want to navigate next, seeing what business they want to get into. As you've seen before, I'm a big coffee guy. I put out my own coffee brand, and Martin Kove had an interest in doing his own coffee, right? So you're going to see in the next 6 to 8 months, you're going to see the Martin Kove coffee out on the market. So that's how you kind of start mixing all these different things together. You look at stuff that Paulie out of the Bronx, out of La Casa Grande has done. Chaz bringing Chaz Palminteri into wine, and we kind of mix it like, hey, Maddie, who do you know where we could do a wine and cigar event kind of thing? And it's like, great, man, get the opportunity to to work with a living legend. And again, there you go. You're matching up wine and spirits and cigars. Obviously, Chaz has his own cigar. He has the Bronxdale, other
Yep.
sticks in the line that come from across the Grande. And again, you have to marry those things into all brand new, different areas, right? And I think it's cool
Right.
to watch how people branch out and how people go into other stuff and how you bring more people into for me, into my hobbies and what you love, right?
Absolutely. Now you mentioned Chaz Palminteri. I actually crossed paths with him once years ago, long before I ever smoked my first cigar. And it was actually at Disneyland. I was there with my family, and we had literally just gotten off the Indiana Jones ride. And now he was dressed to be indiscreet, or to be discreet rather. And so he was wearing like a hat. He was wearing, I think, some sort of windbreaker, really colorful and stuff like that, and wearing just, his glasses. And I see him walking towards me. I'm pretty sure he was with his wife. And I see him. He sees that I've seen him. And then he kind of has this look on his face like, oh no, like, is this
Don't
kid
blow
going to
my
start
cover.
talking to me?
He gave you the don't blow my cover, kid. Yeah.
Which I didn't. I did not. I saw him and I'm like, oh shit. And then it's just like, yeah, just you walked by because I'm like, he's here for the same reason I am. He's here to have a good day, have fun, have a good time, and not be bothered. And, I was just like, I walked past him and I started talking to my dad and another friend of the family where I'm like, I said, I think I just saw. And at the time, he had just been in both like Analyze This and Night at the Roxbury. And so I'm like telling my dad, I couldn't remember his name at the time. They're like, oh, you saw Chaz Palminteri. I'm like, yeah, that guy. And they're like, my buddy says to me, he's like, did you yell at him? Did you grab my ass? I'm like, no, but I should have. I totally should have.
And then that's when you get the cease and desist order out of my entire line of work. That's all you came up with. Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. That, and you say it back like Colin Quinn. Yes, sir. That's what I have. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it was one of those things where it was a missed opportunity, but it probably was better that I did miss said opportunity. So, because I've gotten to meet a couple of celebrities, over the year. I got to meet Robert Patrick. I've gotten to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, both from Terminator, and just a couple other names. But it was just like one of those things where like he saw that I saw him, so I'm like, okay, so I'm not crazy. This is the same guy. And but yeah, no, it was just kind of funny. And then I'm at TPE last year where we met, and I'm getting introduced to all the Epic guys and checking out a Bronx Tale. They're telling me the story behind it. And it's pretty incredible. It's like sometimes when celebrities go into a certain niche business, like to develop a product, sometimes it really is just for the money. But that with what Chaz is doing, what Martin's
Because he has that
doing, what
story, right? Exactly, and that's what it's all
yeah,
about, right? When does something really become intriguing? That's when it has a
yeah,
story behind it and has a history of its own, right? And I think
right.
that's what makes things special.
Mm-hmm. And I can appreciate that just because even like Guy Fieri, because he's a man who understands like the flavor experience. Obviously, he's the mayor of Flavortown, and he is developing his own, own cigars and things like that. A guy with a palate like that, I would imagine, and I have not yet tried his cigars.
Yeah, it's
With a
Espinosa
palate like
stuff. So
that,
yeah, you
though,
grab a knuckle
yeah,
sandwich, and next time you see Espinosa stuff, so you grab it from him.
yeah,
And like I said, uh, and
yeah,
it's funny you talk about food guys, so you talk about flavor and taste. We talk about food and how that mixes together. One of my boys who, God rest his soul, passed away, the Cuban Carl Ruiz, out, did what, 300 episodes on guys' grocery games and everything else. And
mm,
Carl was an avid cigar smoker. Had a lot of fun
yeah.
sitting and watching his take on cigars and what he tastes and everything. It's neat when it comes from somebody who's in the food world and it's a chef to see what they think about it and their opinion and their taste buds and what they're getting.
Yeah, no, there was somebody who was married into my family for a while. No longer is, but they could reverse engineer food just by tasting it. Like, they could taste a store-bought product and they could figure out what was in it just by, and I'm like, that's insane because I've been developing my cigar palate for roughly 8 years because, I've been doing cigar media for about that long. And prior to that, I never paid that much attention to what I was experiencing flavor wise or anything else, aroma, etc. I was just smoking a cigar.
And
And
honestly, man, you never learn it all. You keep learning. I've been smoking for
yeah,
30 years. I just keep learning. One of my senseis in the business, Jose Blanco, who now works with Fuente, I gave him the
right.
nickname the professor for a reason. You know, he's been with tobacco for over 5 decades, and he will be the first person to tell you, I don't know everything. And it's constantly evolving and you're constantly learning. That's kind of what makes it so much fun, right? That's why you're always looking forward
Yeah.
to the new stuff that's coming out. And then you see how your palate changes over the years. You know, something that you wouldn't smoke even 2 years ago becomes part of your daily rotation. And that changes. Then sometimes you find yourself going back to that spot again years later. So it's wild how you know, your own personal evolution with cigars goes.
No, absolutely. And speaking of which, like this is actually my first time smoking the blackened S84. I got it in my Smoke In box. I've actually been collaborating with Smoke In for the last year. They've been sending me a new box every
Yep,
month,
yep.
and
Abe's a good dude. Yep, yep.
Abe is a good dude. I like him a lot, and I'm gonna try and see if I can get him on the podcast soon because like I got connected to him through Kevin Sheehan, Cigar Prop, who's a good buddy of mine. And but yeah, no, this is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I mean, it's Connecticut's or just lighter, milder cigars can be hit and miss. I'm sure you've experienced plenty of that in your journey.
And that's
And
why I love this stick. It keeps, like I said, it keeps all of the notes that you have in the M81
hmm
with it, you know, with its Connecticut heritage, and then now you slap on this Connecticut Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper, and to me this hits
hmm
real nice. I mean, I love my M81, and it's funny you said that. I don't smoke a ton of Connecticut's, and you know, this is one that's always in my rotation. The Underground shade is always in my rotation. You know, great
yeah.
stuff.
And the Espinosa Crema is in my top three Connecticut's or just milder cigars because that is one of very few that still hits the spot every single time and it maintains its sweetness. It doesn't get too bitter, it doesn't get too flat, you know. And the same thing is true for this one so far. I don't just say that because I'm a massive Metallica fan, because I am. And I do not want to dishonor my idol, James Hetfield. I literally modeled my vocals after his when I was younger because I've been in choirs, I've been in bands, I sing. So it's like, I love the sound of his voice. It's one of the most unique sounding voices in rock and roll. But
Dude,
truthfully,
they're the kings of, you know, they're the kings of, they're the undisputed kings of metal, right? I mean, you got Ozzy
absolutely.
and Black Sabbath, you got
Yep.
Metallica, you got Megadeth, you have
Mhm.
Anthrax. I mean, those are big boy Slayer, but you know, Metallica is
Yep.
just unmistakable.
I actually met Kerry King a few years back.
Right
He
on.
uh he used to live in my town. I live in a town called Corona in Southern California. I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of passing through here, but
I've been
yeah,
from
he
one
lived
side of five to the other, so probably 1 point.
well, you've surely passed through Riverside County, no doubt.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the county I live in. But yeah, for a while, and this was like really in the midst of the pandemic, I used to work at a Home Depot in my town, and he came through even with the mask on. I knew exactly who he was. There was no disputing who he was because with his tattoos and everything and the long goatee, I was just like, and I knew I was going to be the guy that helped him that day. He was in my department. I'm like, "Hey, Mr. King, how you doing?" And he didn't even flinch. He's like, "Hey, I'm good, man." So it was nice talking to him. Got a picture with him. He gave me one of the commemorative pics from their farewell tour, back in 2019. So he's a good guy. All those guys, I've heard far and wide that they're really good guys and they appreciate their fans, and that's something that I absolutely love.
No, 100%, man. Without the fans,
I
remember what it's all about the fans, or you don't have a business.
No, exactly. And I finally, for the first time, and it's just so unfortunate it took me so long, but I finally got to see um, Metallica for the first time back in 2023. So it was,
Yeah, they don't
it,
disappoint, man.
no, it was the best concert experience I've ever had in my life. I saw Van Halen 3 times. So they blew them out of the water, I must say. And no disrespect to the late, great Eddie Van Halen. I will love that man until the day I die. But Metallica puts on a whole different show.
Yeah, man. Just I think their overall wattage is probably even triple of that of Van Halen. So yeah, you're not going to go see a bad Metallica show.
No, no, but it's funny because, like, I mean, obviously the volume is just blew the roof off the house. If the house had a roof, it was at the SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. But
Yeah, it's
I
Spinal
saw
Tapish stuff. That's up to 11, dude. There's no doubt.
right, exactly. But I remember I saw Aerosmith in 1999 at the Hollywood Bowl, and my ears were bleeding the next day. It was bonkers because, like, I think it was just because the nature, it was like an amphitheater and everything was bouncing side to side, back and forth, and we were up in the nosebleed of nosebleeds. So we were hearing everything last, and I think it was just like bouncing off us the
You
hardest. So it
needed
was just
Advil for a week, but it was worth it. Yeah. Speaking of
no.
Aerosmith, before he blew out, we were at the last show where he blew out his pipes, man. So
Oh
Aerosmith and
no.
Aerosmith and the Black Rose. Yep, fantastic concert. But they're like, "Oh, Steve's voice is done." I'm like, "Oh, he's done, done." They're like, "Looks like he's done." I'm like, "Oh, my bad. It's probably something I did."
Yeah, you blamed yourself, right? It's like if I weren't here, it would have been fine.
Yeah, it probably would have been okay. Matty Rock ruined my voice. Ow!
Yeah, exactly. What's funny about that concert is because, like, the year before, I saw Van Halen for the first time, 1998, at what is now Hyundai Pavilion. It used to be Glen Helen. Well, it's Glen Helen Park. Used to be Blockbuster Pavilion, in like San Bernardino or towards San Bernardino. And I saw them when they had Gary Sharon in the band. When they kind of,
Yep, Van
they were
Halen when
in
they
their.
did Van Halen 3.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my first ever concert, and Johnny Lang opened up for them that day, which I love Johnny Lang. And then he opened up for Aerosmith a year later, and I swear to God, he was wearing the same damn outfit.
You're like, come on, dude. I know you made enough off the last tour to get some new stuff. Yeah.
Literally, it was cargo pants and a gray tank top, and he wore the exact same thing. I guess that's his stage outfit. I don't know.
I'm one of the few people, by the way, that like Van Halen 3, but I'm an extreme fan. I'm a big Gary Sharon fan too. So I'm
Oh
like, well,
yeah.
come on, guys. But From Afar is a good song. Everyone's like, oh, I'm like, all right, all right,
Yep.
all right.
Yep. Now he kind of was
Sorry,
like,
I've probably angered a whole bunch of the Van Halen gods.
not me. I'm one of the lesser gods you have not angered.
There we go.
But no, it was a great show. Honestly, everything about that show was great except for one of the opening bands, which was Monster Magnet. They were terrible.
See,
They only ever
Monster
had one good
Magnet, I
song.
listen to their songs. I have no idea. Like, I'll listen to Space Lord, and then someone looks at me, he's like, what's going on in that song? I'm like, sounds great. You could just mutter words. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. Something about spaceships washing the sleigh. I'm like, I have no clue what's going on here, but I'm good with that. And if you're a
No,
wrestling fan, of course, the Matt Hardy theme song too. I'm like, all right, live for the moment. I'm like, great song. I kind of understand what's going on in this one. So there's one song I know what we're talking about. The rest, I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I need
it's
some
it's
clip
kind of
notes
like
for this.
the Louie Louie of hard rock, right?
Yeah, I have no fucking idea what's going on. But I'm just like, yeah, absolutely.
No, but like they were interesting, and like I was just like I wasn't paying probably as much attention as I initially meant to because I'd started getting into Monster Magnet a little bit. I was in junior high, it was just like this was all new music to me, and so I'm like, okay, but they were just acting fools. I don't know if they were drunk or they were high, but at the end, the lead singer, whose name I cannot remember, he started humping his guitar, like put it down on the ground and started doing, pelvic thrusts in his guitar. And I'm like, okay, Van Halen needs to get out here like right now.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix was looking down. I was like, go on. Oh,
It's like, at least light it on fire, man.
yeah, be a little more amusing. Yeah, it was probably a night of very, very good drugs. Kudos.
Probably, but it was interesting. I will give him that. It left an impression, and I still haven't forgotten about it. This was, almost what, 30 years ago. So
Hey,
yeah,
somebody mating with a guitar or something you're going to remember. You put
pretty
your own ad lib
much.
over it, right? You have David Attenborough. And today we have a lead singer who's looking for his mate. As he bangs away in his Fender, I don't know what he's hoping to prove.
Oh man, yeah, that fits. That totally works right there. I absolutely love that. But no, it was a good concert, and kind of like you said, like I enjoyed Van Halen 3, but then again, I was a very non-judgmental, non-purist kind of kid. I just loved Van Halen because I loved Van Halen, regardless of their incarnation.
Yeah, I was,
You
I was,
know.
I was, I was okay with that version of Van
Hmm.
Halen. Like I said, huge extreme fan. I think Nuno Bettencourt is
Yep.
ridiculously sick guitars. If there's anyone
Hmm.
Eddie could pass the torch to, kind of thing, I would say maybe Nuno. There's of course there's always Vi and the Satriani, but some of the
Yeah.
stuff that Nuno's done, what is it, Ride That Rise Again solo, your nose starts to bleed when you hear that. You're like, how do you do that? Like, why is my nose bleeding? Like, that's sick.
I'm surprised my ears didn't bleed from Michael Anthony's like high pitched like vocals, man. That man can hit notes that
Yeah,
I know. I
yeah.
was literally
When
listening to Judgment Day yesterday. And one of my favorite songs from For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I love that song for that reason. I mean, Eddie's guitar playing is on point as always, and it's fantastic. I love how that song sounds.
I
But
know,
I
dude, I
listened
love
to that
Michael
song for
Anthony's
that bit.
backing vocals, dude. And
Yeah.
since he was in such a super group, very underrated bassist. Like, I'm an old fucking guy, so if you go listen
Hmm.
to go take a Sunday afternoon in the park and stuff like that. You hear the bass solo, just him and Alex, and you're like, you know what? This guy is really good.
Yep.
So if you've never
No,
listened to Sunday Afternoon, and like, oh, I'm giving my music tutorial. All right, kids, if you've never listened to Sunday Afternoon in the Park by Van Halen, give it a shot.
you know what's funny? It's funny you say that. You keep like stumbling onto parallels of what's been going on. Like I had I had the Diver Down album. I had all their albums at one point. Um, and there's a gentleman who I just did a podcast episode with, and his episode is coming out this Friday, and his podcast is called Sunday Afternoon Smokes. Is a guy by the name of Chris Strother.
I hope Sunday
And
Afternoon in the Park is the background music.
well, I was gonna put that as the background on my reel, but I didn't, just because it's a song. I don't think it's a song I ever took enough time to listen to when I had Diver Down, and so I
It's
just went
great. I like it.
with
Whenever there's no lyrics and I don't have to think about it, I think it's literally just just Michael Anthony and Alex, man. That's it. You're like, this is some raw shit. You can tell he throws on a mood pedal in there. You're just like, this is angry. I want
yeah.
to go punch a baby now. Thanks, guys. This is great. It's got that raw, angry grittiness.
No, I do love that. Like, and I honestly love in the Right Here Right Now, the live album,
His
when
bass
Michael
solo, yeah.
Anthony, yes, the Jack Daniels bass solo, that was something else. He was just going to town, and it was a
Yeah.
joy to
Very, very
watch.
underrated. Like I said, when you have that much talent, you have two huge showmen that were your lead singers. You have an Eddie Van Halen. Very easy to kind of get tossed by the wayside, right? It's kind of like Rush. Everyone's like Geddy Lee and Neil Peart. Everyone kind of forgets, like, holy shit, Alex Lifeson is probably one of the best fusion guitarists on the planet. You know,
Yeah.
goes sometimes goes unnoticed. That's how you're part of greatness.
No, absolutely, and I love Michael Anthony's ability to just really take the beat and the rhythm of the song to the next level, because that man can play bass so fast and so steady, and there's always power behind it in
Yep,
almost in
I'm a
every
big
Van
fan of
Halen
Chicken
song.
Foot. Anything that he does, I like when he did Chicken Foot with Sammy and
Yeah.
Satch. So yep.
Yep. So I'm glad that him and Sammy stuck together for all the years since he was in Van Halen, and I regrettably never got to see Van Halen with Sammy. I mean, obviously, I still have opportunities to see Sammy Hagar in concert, which I haven't yet. But he's honestly he is my favorite Van Halen vocalist. I enjoy the David Lee Roth era; it's the classic era. But Sammy has got a voice apart from so many other vocalists that I've ever listened to.
And he could still sing,
Eh,
and he's not a young cat anymore.
No, he's
Wow.
one of those vocalists who he treats his voice as he should as an instrument, and he takes care of that instrument, and he still sounds just as good as he did 20, 30 years ago. So, but yeah, that was the first Sammy album that I heard with Van Halen. My dad, bought me that album. Like, you're going to laugh, but the first time I really heard Van Halen was on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie soundtrack. The song Dreams was on that soundtrack.
So you see, now you just gave street cred to the Power Rangers. You're like, all right.
I mean, it's my childhood, and I actually have a small handful of friends who used to be on any number of those shows. I've connected with some of those actors and stuff like that. But yeah, that was the first time I ever really heard Van Halen, and that was what made me pick up a guitar. So I wish I could say I picked up a thing or two from Eddie, but I definitely did not.
No, I played for years. I have 15 guitars, and nope, not a fucking thing did I learn.
Now, I was able to pick up some
I did
things.
music promotions instead of play it. They're like, dude, you want me to play Dokken songs poorly? They're like, no, maybe you should be a promoter. I was like, ow. Alrighty then.
Hey, you're in proximity, so that's a cool thing for sure. So, proximity to greatness is still a fun thing.
For sure, brother.
So, but yeah, no, my music beginnings, just that was all of that, which, it's funny to me because, like, I know there's good popular music now, but for some reason I always end up going back to just my nostalgic roots. Just, I very rarely pay attention to what's current. It makes me feel old, but at the same time I don't care.
Man, and even the new stuff that came out is from bands that have been around forever. Korn just released their new single. Always a huge Korn fan. Dream Theater last year came out with their new CD. I'm a huge Dream Theater guy, so I'm still stuck in my core.
Oh yeah, I love Dream Theater. Rite of Passage is one of my favorite songs from them.
Yep. Now that you have the old drummer came back, Porty came back, so it's like, okay, didn't miss a beat. So he's back. It sounds it's literally picked up where they left off with him years ago. So that was what is it? Parasomnia, I think, is the name of the new CD. It's badass.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out because I haven't I don't have them on any of my social feeds, but I'll definitely need to check it out because, I mean, Dream
check
Theater,
out the new CD. It's you can definitely feel the presence of Porty being back 100%.
That's awesome. So, but so what have you got coming down the pike? Obviously, you got the event with Martin Kove. You got a lot.
I got a lot.
I'm gathering.
Yeah. So just so now you're giving me anxiety because I'm just thinking about my
my
next
sorry.
week. So let's see. So hold on. Probably not. Should be drinking decaf. So we got on Wednesday. We've got the Martin Kove event at Casa de Monte Cristo in Paramus. On Thursday, we have the Wine Enthusiast event by Enthusiast Magazine, Lincoln Salazar, great dude. So you're going to have a ton of vendors out there. I'll be out there with Drew Estate. It's out on Long Island at the Swan Club. I want to say that I saw that it's sold out, but if it's not, anybody who's listening, Swan Club out in Long Island by Roslyn, great place. This will be my third year doing that event. A bunch of different vendors, get to see a bunch of great people. It's a great time. Then the next day, I have an event at Hackensack Brewing in Hackensack, New Jersey. We're celebrating the anniversary of Holy Grail Burgers at the same time, and you know that I love my food, so that's not going to be an event I cry too much. And then after that, I will be in the Poconos doing the Smokinos event. So I don't know if you've seen that one. Another really good event. Yeah, that's great play on words, right? Go to the Smokinos and the Poconos, dude.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Yeah. So the Smokinos is on Saturday, and then by Sunday it's 50-50 if I'm still alive after that. But tons of other stuff rolling. Doing a lot of Drew Estate sponsored food events. So anyone who's not following me, give a follow. You'll see what's coming up. Obviously, we have our Barn Smokers. Connecticut Barn Smoker will be coming up. Florida Barn Smoker today. I don't know when you're going to be airing this, so I won't give dates because people will be like, dude, That sold out like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, my bad. So the Down with the Crown event for everything under Crown tickets are going on sale today. You can edit that out if that nobody knows what the today part is later. They're like, F you, Matty Rock. So,
I
so
missed my window. Yeah, this will be airing a bit down the line because I got a couple
yeah, so we'll just
episodes.
edit out dates. You'll just hear me doing. It'll be like a bad kung fu movie. That's it. Yeah, I already missed this event. Yeah. So yeah, sorry, dude. And other fun stuff, big shows I really enjoy doing. Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. Um, and for the first time, it'll be a change of venue. It's actually going to be out in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So that's pretty fun. But there's just constant stuff going on. There's going to be the family reunion out in Kentucky. So we just got to keep it rolling, bringing all things Drew Estate to all different parts of the country, which is a lot of fun. And like I said, you'll see a lot of pocket Drew Estate events that I'm doing. A lot of food people, a lot of my barbecue dudes. So keep your eyes out. It'll be a lot of fun events. And while I'm standing upright, I'll continue to do as many as I can before I hit the floor.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's plenty of people looking forward to seeing you. I wish I could be at any one of those things just because it would be a blast. But my next travel plans involve hopping a plane to Alaska in July, going on an Alaskan cruise and
Yeah, it's
checking
like,
out.
hold on, what's the furthest point away from Matty? Alaska. Yeah, there.
This trip has been
The
in the
cigar
works for.
enthusiast the enthusiast report has their next event actually in California in Newport Beach next month. So see, there's one
Okay,
in your state that I'll be at. So
all
I
right,
I will be there next month, but
okay.
close
Where? So
proximity. But
give
that's
us
going
the
to be in
details for that
Newport
one.
Beach. So I don't have the date in front of me now. I want to say it's the 13th, the Saturday in June.
Okay.
I think that's it. But again, it's going to get beeped out anyway, considering when you put this out. But again, that's another Lincoln Salazar and Company event for the enthusiast report. Uh, Great time. I enjoy it. I love that out there in Newport, so that'll be a fun thing to do. You could look that up, see if there's any tickets left. And like I said, at least I'm in your state.
Yeah, I know for sure. I'm gonna have to try and see if I can snag a ticket there just because that's actually around my dad's birthday. My dad is the one who got me into cigars, so that might be a fun thing to do.
So see, there you go. Look, I did something important today. Woo!
No, for sure, man. I want to see if I can make that happen because it's been a good minute since I've been to a cigar event. In fact, I don't think I've actually been to a cigar event since last year when I met you and you were working the Drew Estate booth. It's just
Yep. You
it.
you got to go change it up, man. And I don't know the dates yet. I'll have a charity event out in Modesto that's coming up. I
Mhm.
think in September. So I'll make
Okay,
sure I reach out to you for that one.
that'd be
So
great,
it's all
man.
to promote the charities for all things local to Modesto. We've done it for the children before. We've done it for St. Jude's. We've done it for food banks. So not sure what the charity will be this year, but again, keep your eyes open. September out at the Modesto, the Del Rio Country Club.
Awesome. No, yeah, that would be fantastic, and yeah, I would love to see you and hang out with you because yeah, I need to get out more. This is my workspace where you see me
Don't
sitting.
get
I
out
mean, I
too
have a
much, or you're
nice.
gonna don't get out too much. You're gonna go super gray like me. So find that balance.
I'm I'm already starting to get some hints of gray. You can't really see it in this lighting, but it's like the stress is a
Yeah,
little bit of a
there's no
different kind
lighting
of
that can
stress.
hide mine. It's done, dude. There's no lighting to hide mine anywhere. I just give up trying to hide it.
Yeah, no, my grays are popping in because of kids and work stress. So
I hear you, my brother.
summer's coming up. The kids won't be in school for a while, so I gotta contend with making sure they stay occupied so I can keep doing this sort of thing.
Right on, my dude.
So no, yeah, it's been kind of a double edged sword because like at this point in time, I'm working hardly at all. I mean, businesses everywhere are suffering, so like hours get cut on a regular basis at a lot of places, and mine's no
Crazy
exception.
times, bro. Absolutely.
It is, but the blessing from that is that I've been in here working my ass off trying to make sure that I'm getting connected with, people within the industry, and all that kind of stuff. And this might get edited out just because I don't want to jinx myself, but I actually interviewed with Drew Estate just last week. Had a phone conversation with Jenny Lynn, and at first it was for a sales position here in California. But
It's my girl,
she,
Jenny. Hi, Jenny,
Jenny.
if you're listening. Love you, Jenny.
But she thinks that my talents would be better in marketing. So you know what? You never know. We might be working together, dude.
Right on, dude. I look forward to it.
Yeah, so do I, man. I would love to work for Drew Estate's great company. I've been smoking their cigars for years, and I just love everything they do. So yeah, it would be a huge privilege and a blessing to be able to do that sort
It's
of
a
thing.
great
So
family to be part of, brother. That's for sure.
no, absolutely. So what I've been meaning to ask is what's your official like job title capacity within Drew Estate? Are you just an ambassador, or are you officially working for
I'm just
them?
like the guy who goes out and does promo stuff. Like, I think that's the actual title, dude who goes out promo.
Yeah,
I love it. JD and I have been friends for almost 20 years, and it's great to
yeah,
marry all these things together. The love of cigars, because again, I started, like I said, in promotions and everything else, and JD's like, hey, you're used to big crowds and promos and everything else. I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, man. And he's like, I noticed you're a smoker. You smoke our stuff. He's like, what do you say we bring this on the road? I'm like, so I,
Twist my arm, why don't you?
yeah, yeah. So like I said, so like the official title is like promo hype guy who
Yeah,
does stuff and eats food and smokes cigars and drinks coffee thing. So,
rough
and
life,
I'm good
man.
with
Rough
that.
life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have no
I would be
complaints.
too. I would be good with that too. That's a pretty cool gig. I mean, again, nice work if you can get it. It's one of
Absolutely,
those
my dude.
things. I was having a discussion with somebody else like during another episode where it's just like you just never know what you're going to end up like experiencing or encountering, like when you're doing different events, going to different places. You have a conversation with a person and you end up networking with them and connecting with them. They hear about what you
Yeah,
can
dude.
do, and next thing you
Honestly,
know,
that's doing this for more than I've been smoking for 30 something years. And
hmm
I can tell you, it's the best community. There's just really something to be said about the brother and sisterhood in the cigar community.
absolutely.
Um, Even the word comforting. It's comforting to be around all the people. You're going to meet everybody from every single walk of life, every creed. Uh, it's just great, man. I would say doing what I've been doing for all these years, there's nothing I enjoy more. And I'm very, very happy and very, very blessed to be part of it. Absolutely not jaded. And I'm thankful for every day of it.
That's fantastic, man. And that's a rare thing to experience in any job field or just in anything, because, you know, it's easy to suffer burnout even from something that you really like doing. You know, I've had conversations with a couple of people who love their jobs, but they're like, man, I'm just getting run ragged and I'm tired. And it's just like, yeah, man, we live in a time where you gotta hustle, because if you slow down for too long, you know, you may find yourself losing momentum. But you know, at the
100%,
same
brother.
yeah, at the same time, you do need to make sure that like you find something that you can enjoy. Don't settle. Try not to settle as much as you possibly can, you know, and the fact that I get to do this, you know, it's a job, but it's not a job because, you know, it's not something that I make a living off of, but I am fortunate that I was able to make the space for myself to create cigar content. I also do voice work, you know, and stuff like that. So I do all that from here. Cigars afforded me it pushed me to
I told you,
this.
man, I wouldn't swap it for anything, brother. So heard
Exactly.
100% couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely just one of those things where if I didn't start getting into cigar media and connecting with the community, I would not have any of this. I would not be able to do any of this. So it is definitely all because of my connection to that community and the fire it lit under my ass.
Absolutely, dude. Glad you're living it. Glad you're enjoying it.
I am, and same thing goes for you, man. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I know you've got a lot going on today, and that you've got places to be. I'm grateful that you carved out a small piece of time to hang out with me for a little bit and get
Appreciate
to
you
talk
having me,
about.
brother.
No, anytime, man. Anytime you have a little bit of free time and you want to jump on or anything like that, or just hit me up and let me know when you're free. I would love to have you back, and anybody else who might happen to be around. So yeah, just let me know and it's done. I got you.
Absolutely, my dude. Thanks again for having me on. I appreciate you. Glad that you still have the same feels for the cigars industry and the world we live in. That makes me
Absolutely.
happy to hear everybody that comes into the fold that truly enjoys it and sees the love in it. That makes me incredibly happy. It's a joy I'm happy to share with everybody else.
Absolutely. Now, Matty, I end the show the same way every single time. I don't know if you listen to any of the episodes from the podcast, but I ask my guests a question, and the answer is in the name of the podcast, Revelers Rule Podcast. Who rules?
The Revelers Rule podcast.
Yes, sir.
See that?
Revelers rule because we get the most out of life. So, anyways, brother, thank you again for joining me. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And yeah, we will see you guys in the next one.
Right on. Much love, everyone. Matty Rock. Peace out.
Later.